Just don't want to admit it because of Pan-Africanism brainwashing. We just don't want to admit that they are nothing more than the equivalent of Nazis touring you around a concentration camp.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you brought up a really good point, Wani. Like, how could these people who sold us into slavery decide to represent us in the AU and speak for us? What they call it, one voice. Was it Region or District 6? One voice. How can somebody who sold us to the Europeans for weapons, again, those of you who didn't hear, Dr. Claude Anderson said that I'm paraphrasing him, he said the African tribal chiefs sold their own people to get the latest weapons. I don't trust them to speak for me. Furthermore, their decision-making mechanism is skewed. Again, going back to the text, Dr. Claude Anderson said, true or not, white traders took advantage of tribal chiefs' generosities. This self-destructive tribalism, self-enslavement, and lack of concern for uncivilized, childlike heathens was neither appreciated nor deserved their God-given wealth. Dr. Anderson further says whites rationalized that it was their moral duty to take and utilize Africa's wealth and put blacks to productive work as slaves. Yeah. So I don't trust you to speak for me. Man, you brothers and sisters, y'all let them speak for us if you want to. Shit, they'll sell us back to the Europeans, which in my opinion, that's what they're trying to do in America, is sell us out for a title, sell us out for pennies. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not getting any big money. They're going to sell us out for a job at Uber. But I digress.
There's a story of this Nigerian woman who's selling human beings. She basically tricked Papua New Guineans and other people in the region into going. I forget where she tricked them into going, but they ended up on a plantation. So they're still involved in trafficking people. Like, they can't stop.
Yeah, that's a fact. And we talked a little bit about, we discussed the 17th century. Let's examine a more recent attempt for one voice with Africa. We're going to W.E. Du Bois. Our scholarship of the day is coming from Dr. Howard Zinn. Dr. Howard Zinn says, a remarkable perceptive article on the nature of the First World War appeared in May 1915 in the Atlantic Monthly, written by W.E. Du Bois. It was titled The African Roots War. It was a war for the empire which struggled between Germany and the Allies over Africa, both the symbol and reality. Let's see. Du Bois saw more than that. He was writing several years before Lenin's imperialism, which noted a new possibility of giving hard-working class of the imperial country a share of the money. He pointed out the paradox of the greater democracy in America alongside increased autocracy and hatred towards the darker race. He explained that the paradox was the fact that the white working man had been asked to share his money well, I'm not going to say the pejoratives, but a pejorative for Asians and N-words. Yes, the average citizen of England, France, and Germany, and the United States had a higher standard of living than before, but where does it come from, this new wealth? What I'm saying is, even in 1915, the West Africans were not united with each other. They allowed, like W. Du Bois said, Germany, France, and the United States and England to take their shit. They're united with white supremacy. Why? Because like I posted with the picture I saw in West Africa, they think that God is a white man that looks like he's in the Bee Gees. Or maybe the Beatles, I'm not sure. And
if I could jump in here right quick, I just wanted to speak to the topic. The AU, the way I thought about this is kind of the way we're divesting from the term African American, officially divesting from the term African American, because that's not a term that I don't recall foundational Black Americans wholesale adopting. We called ourselves Black, or, by the time I came along anyway, I'm an older millennial. So I was Black. I was born when they came up with the term African American. So I'm actually older than the term African American. We are officially on the record divesting from the term African American. And I think that while we are divesting from terms that don't align with our ethnic identity, we should also divest from the term African diaspora. Officially on the record, letting people know, because the definition of diaspora means to be spread or dispersed from the homeland. And foundational Black Americans, we have already, made it clear that our ethnicity, we don't have a direct lineage tied back to Africa the way that I call them the neo-African Americans. They do. So for me personally, when I saw, because I remember a few years back doing a podcast about the African Union standing up Region 6. It was a couple of years ago when they actually stood it up. And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, what is the point? What is the purpose? I didn't really understand it because, again, as a foundational Black American, we are not consulted for anything. Africans have when you had foundational Black Americans who use the term African American, Africans would go, where are you from? What part of Africa? What tribe? That was their way of jabbing or teasing. These people have never accepted us, whether on the micro level or the macro level. So again, Region 6 saying that it's anybody in the diaspora that's willing to, in essence, send money back to Africa to help build up Africa. Let that be the neo-African Americans, the ones who have fled from Africa, that are truly dispersed from their African homeland. Let that be for those Africans. I'm not a part of the African diaspora like the neo-African Americans are.
Yep, I fully agree. We need to start pounding in on that, because saying that we're a diaspora is like saying that Chihuahuas, are a diaspora of a Eurasian wolf, and they're not. It's a whole new thing, and they're from Mexico or wherever they're from. I think they're from Mexico. I didn't look it up, so I'm just saying we think they are. But many dogs have origins other places, like German Shepherds and other types of species, and they don't owe anything to that first canine. Yes, they have some roots there, but every canine on earth has it. So every time you see somebody's puppy in a purse, yeah, it has some roots with that Eurasian wolf, but it's not from Eurasia, and it's not a Eurasian wolf. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah, you're very, very true, Wani. I want to point back to this one voice, quote unquote, one voice. And we're going to go a little bit further back into the epoch of time. We're going to 1441, and I got some new scholarship for y'all. I want to point out how divided West Africa, and according to Dr. Claude Anderson, how East Africa as well is divided and has always been. This scholarship is coming from Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson says, quote, the Arab, the East African, and the Moor, East African merchants were the few traders who could safely venture into the interior trading markets. Dr. Anderson says most traders dared not to leave the coastal port cities. Norman Combs, in his book, The Black Experience, expressed the belief that many Mediterranean and European nations were more advanced than West Africa in military weapons, science, and technology. The formidableness of Africa's interior and the fighting skill of the black warriors dissuaded the more militaristic nations from attempting to take West Africa's wealth by force, right? Dr. Anderson says, quote, instead, they chose to gain access through trade activities. So what did that mean? That meant that the white man used to trade with the African until they stole the concept for a gun. But I digress. Here goes the point. Dr. Claude Anderson says, quote, by the late 16th century, West Africa had lost its reputation of invincibility. Her great empires had been weakened. Y'all want to guess why they were weakened?
Change your religion?
Nope. It wasn't a change of religion necessarily, although the spread of Islam did do weakening to the east. Dr. Claude Anderson says her great empires have been weakened not by the European, not by the Arab. Y'all ready for this? Her great empires have been, quote, her great empires have been weakened by divisive internal forces. That's with Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm going to take a picture, put it in Jumbotron. By divisive internal forces, which diminish the sense of West African nationhood or togetherness and is left with the natural and human capital's resources unprotected. Tragically, West African leaders failed to take protective measures to guard their natural and human resources from wealth-seeking self-interest or foreign traders, and Africa is still unprotected. That's me. That wasn't Dr. Claude Anderson. So given that fact, how are they going to speak for us when they didn't protect us and they sold some of us? Go to hell. I digress.
They are not in the position to speak for anybody. They couldn't arrange a trip to the toilet.
Facts. Go ahead, Dr. Ward.
Dwayne was ahead of me. I want to let him speak first.
Oh, I didn't see him. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Thank you. Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing
Hey.
well.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna speak with a little bit better inflection because I know people in the DMs, they be saying, "Oh, why you sound like a robot?" I mean, that's just how I am. I mean, when I was in the even when I was in the military, they told me I was acting and sound like a robot there as well. So I guess that's just me. So
Hey, wait a minute. We talk all kind of ways.
yeah,
Just talk the way you want to talk. Relax.
Yeah,
Don't let anybody.
I'm just really nonchalant. I'm really nonchalant. That's pretty much my how when I go off the into talking, I just sound nonchalant. So yeah, I see you, Draco. All right. So let me get to the topic. Is before I get to the top, I'm gonna talk about the diaspora thing. Miss Cush is absolutely correct. We are not part of a diaspora except our own. Paraphrasing, the term diaspora really refers to a group of people who has been dispersed, just like she said, from their homeland, often by voluntary or even forced, but they maintaining, that's the word, their cultural, linguistic, and ethnic ties to our homeland. We don't have a ethnic or cultural continuity or even retentions or even an echo from any of those homelands. We are, our origin is the United States. We are the autochthonous people over there. By birthright, by labor, bloodshed, and cultural formation, people. That makes us autochthonous. Because we have a distinct continuity through generational, cultural, and ethnic continuity with the dialects, the foodways, the values, spirituality, even names, last names. I go to my grandma's hometown right now. Was it South Boston, Virginia? All I had to do was say her main name, Claiborne, and I get around town like that. They know who the Claiborne is. So I'm just saying, I can't do that in Africa. I can do that. I can say Burns. I can say, hey, you know who Tennessee is? That's my great grandma. I get around like that. So, but getting to the topic, does the African Union speak for foundational Black Americans? Is there an African brave boycott? Man, the African Union do not speak for us foundational Black Americans, nor any type of way you want to identify yourself. The African American is that no-go. It's a misnomer. It's been a misnomer. I was born in 92. I think that was a little bit after African American was introduced. But the African Union is a continental body with no legal, cultural, historical jurisdiction over us. We were really born, built, and bled. We were just built different. We were born a different struggle. Our lineage is rooted in the USO. We don't know about no African Union. We're not even in the African Union as Black Americans. They just put like diaspora or African descent in the 6th region, where they think that people of African descent are 6 regions. I think they 5th columns. That's what I think of them. The idea that the African Union can represent us is a continuation of the same pan-African erasure that really seeks to fold every melanated person into one generic global category, denying us our specificity, grievances, and justice claims. As I say before, they're focused on the dehumanization, cultural erasure, and ethnic erasure of foundational Black Americans. We honor the diaspora under their umbrella. We are literally a nation within a nation. We're forged by a unique lineage and set of political demands. Reparations, land theft, labor exploitation, and state-sponsored violence in America. And our battles are not African Union's platform. And as for the African Brave boycott discussion, I mean, it's deeper than here. It's about cultural extraction without any type of respect, economic dependency without reciprocity, and open hostility towards foundational Black Americans from those who profit our culture, labor, and communities. It's really about drawing a clear line of sovereignty, protection, and respect. And we should go even farther from the African Brave boycott. We should boycott these Asian beauty supply stores. They're just as bad, if not worse, than the African braiders, per se, when it comes to attacking FBA women. Go ahead, Wani.
No, I just said, oh, yeah, they've been on the hot seat. I haven't been in one of those stores since I was a mid-teen.
But yeah, I definitely should push her out. Like, if you want to do if you want to do the African boycott, because I don't got too much hair to boycott my head. I don't take my daughter to get her hair braided. I get my auntie to do it. So, but yeah, we definitely need to boycott them Asian beauty supply stores. But too many African immigrants and Asian immigrants benefit from our blood-built infrastructure while mocking our lineage, downplaying our reparations claim, with the exception of, like, I guess some Japanese people. I gotta point them out. There are some Japanese people that do say, hey, we that got the reparations in the, I think, the 80s by Ronald Reagan. Hey, these Black Americans need to get, or foundation Black Americans need to get the reparations. And then you got Rashida Tlaib. I have to point those two groups of people out. Rashida Tlaib, she has spoken about our plan on lineage-based reparations as well. But not Africans. There's no known African like that. Maybe some people on here, but no, not really. So, and we're supposed to be all the same, but I guess. But they downplay our cultural innovations as well. Whether if it's good, then it's supposed to be borrowed or it comes from somewhere else. If it's bad or presented as hood or ghetto, then that's our culture. Until it's globally profitable. When we ask for solidarity and respect and to be treated as a human, we are told to unite. But when we ask these questions of accountability, we're called divisive. We're called psyop. That is not unity at all. It's gaslighting. So I'm going to land my plane there. Thank you for letting me speak.
Oh, yeah, great point, brother. The real question is, what part of Africa is or has ever been united? Ladies and gentlemen, do y'all know it's not a highway that goes through Africa? Not a train or railroad that goes through Africa? Not a currency that is African? Europe, and I'm not bigging up Europe, but Europe has the euro, right? The United States has the dollar. What is unified about Africa? I'm asking. Somebody please educate me. You gonna say something?
If I could, no. I was just gonna say the only time that I can think that any part of Africa was ever united was when Upper and Lower Egypt was united, and that was that unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. Other than that, I can't think of any other time. They're splitting Sudan in half. They've split the Congo in half, changing names. I can't think of anything in recent history other than that. I got nothing.
Remember, Eritrea is a knockoff of Ethiopia.
Wow.
Somalia and Somaliland. I mean, I guess we could just go on and on if we really wanted to like think about it. They just, I don't know. I got nothing.
Yep, the Egyptians or the Kemites, Temerians or Chim, whatever you want to call that area, was upper. She's right. Upper and lower Chim were united. Upper Egypt was called Chim or Kim, and the bottom part was called Nubia. They were united, but they were protected against the other parts of Africa or whatever it was called. Some people say it was Akabulan. So we don't even know what it was called, but they weren't united with them. There's scholarship to prove it. Dr. Chancellor Williams talks about how they didn't let the Bantu come up there. They told them to step, like get your ass away from what these. They didn't like their level of organization or lack thereof. Dr. Ward, what are your thoughts, sir?
All right, good evening. The African Union, they trying to make us Region 6 in the African Union as if we ever solicited for it. They're trying to put us in with them. Look, what this is really about. This is a money grab. That's all this is. They know what's happening. They see that reparations is a great possibility that we're going to get. So they're trying to figure out a way to put their filthy, ashy hands into the pot. That's what this is all about. And what really makes me go crazy with these people, and this is not just Africa, but the diaspora. I'm talking about the Caribbean and places like that. These places are mineral rich. You had that stupid ass Jamaican in here the other day, and I was going to ask him, look, what the hell is with Jamaica? Jamaica at one time was the largest supplier of bauxite. Bauxite is the precursor for alumina, and you take Haiti. The story I'm hearing is Haiti has some of the largest concentrations of platinum group metals. Platinum group metals. That's obviously platinum, iridium, osmium, palladium. Yeah, maybe not in tonnage, but in concentration and ease of extraction. Yeah, Haiti has wealth, and we know the wealth Africa has. So why are these fuckers so poor? I mean, how stupid do you have to be to not realize what's under your feet is, if you believe in this stuff, it is a blessing. And they're not taking advantage of it. And, you take the Congo, the story, and I'm probably sure it's more now, but the Congo, at the time I read this, had 17 trillion in mineral wealth. The Congo, for those who may not know, the Manhattan Project, when they wanted to get the uranium to build the bombs, they got it from the Congo. So these countries are rich, but they are so tribal and petty that, so to this point, I really don't feel sorry for them for being colonized. I mean, at this point, you let it happen to yourself, and you hate the only people who ever tried to help you. I'm sorry, you get what you get. And so, when they got decolonized, these people, they were left with all this wealth, and they couldn't figure out what to do with it. Still don't know what to do with it. And so now, say what you want about the Europeans, they really didn't destroy the land for as much to get the resources. Most of the environmental degradation have happened after colonization, and So now the Chinese are going in, and I mean, if you see the Chinese don't give a shit about destroying their own environment. So do you think they're going to? So you think their hearts are going to skip a beat that to destroy what's left of these biodiverse habitats to extract the mineral wealth? So it is a wrap for Africa. There is nothing we can do for them at this point. They are a write off. And is there a African braid boycott? Well, shit, I'm bald, so I guess I am boycotting it every day. I'm doing my part. So with that, I yield to Mike.
Well, Dr. Ward brought up something I wanted to back up with scholarship. Again, our scholarship comes from Dr. Claude Anderson. The scholarship, to put it in context, is with respect to the fact that they don't protect their own resources. So what's the reason behind that? Dr. Claude Anderson identifies a reason very clearly when he says, quote, Black West African sense of community was narrowly and divisively based upon tribal origins rather on the commonality of black skin color and collective racial destiny. Listen at that. They're about tribes fighting each other. And I'm not a mathematician, Dr. Ward, although I used to teach physics. Some mathematician explain that math to me. How are you against each other and you're going to unite for me and speak in my best interest? I don't think that math's right. Dr. Anderson also says, quote, tribal and extended family commitments rarely extended beyond the village compound. And there it is. If their family commitments rarely extended beyond the village compound, how are they going to extend that to us? I'm just saying.
It's just a scam. I mean, they're known for 400 and some scams and monitored by Interpol. And this is just another one. Obviously, they can't get along on either side. Somalis, Kenyans, Ethiopians, Eritreans, Yemenis, people. None of those people can get along with each other. So they're not going to be able to get along with us. They can't even come over here and just be normal. They created all of these arguments by going against what we were talking about. We were never in an argument with anyone. They are always in an argument with each other. It's easy to find out who the bad actors are because they're being drop kicked out of every country. They're banned, and it's not just non-African countries. They're doing it to each other. That's one of their arguments, is that when they travel, because sometimes I have to listen to international travel stories, and you hear Africans complaining all the time.
Black students, we need to know our history.
The black history we're being taught in public schools is repetitive.
As a black high school student, I want to learn more about my history in the school books.
We need to update our books.
As black American students, we deserve an accurate depiction of what black history truly is.
I want to see myself in these textbooks.
In the public school system, black history is vague.
Why don't the school books ever talk about the Freedmen's Bureau?
I created the workbook for the African American family. This book helps fill in the gaps that the school books don't. Purchase the workbook for the African American family on OurStoryPublications.com and use the Cash App, $Our Story Publications.